Welcome everybody to the summary of the 17th chapter. So we will use this points to ponder as usual to go over that. And Jayalakshmiji, were you able to find it?
I'm looking now.
So it's in the, I put it in the chat box. You asked me for the link, right? You wanted the link to these docs, so it's a long link. So that's why. Yeah, send the link to the docs. So it's in the chat. If you can open that, it's good to just use a computer or an iPad. Okay, so Anuji, if you can have the points to ponder open, that'd be great. All right, first question. What is Shraddha? Like one of you to answer. What is the meaning of the word Shraddha?
Faith, or more than faith?
Yeah, so Shraddha means faith, but what it means in this context is a deep conviction in a higher power or a higher order of things, which leads to ultimate goal of moksha. That's what here Bhagavan means. Faith, the way he's interpreting is in the faith in higher power, Ishvara or God. So what people worship. So that is the context with which Bhagavan is interpreting. Shraddha means deep faith. And what is the Bija Shloka? That is, Bija means seed. Some chapters have a Bija Shloka. Bija Shloka for the 17th chapter. Or in other words, what prompted Bhagavan to give the discourse on the threefold division of faith? Shraddha, Traya, Vibhaga. Traya is three, Shraddha, faith, Vibhaga, division of the threefold faith. So what is the Bija Shloka? Can somebody answer?
16.24.
Yes, so the Bija Shloka is given in, it is the last shloka of the previous chapter. So let me open it. It is slide, if you go to slide 6. So Bija Shloka for the 17th chapter is the last shloka of the 16th chapter, which says, therefore, tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavastitau nyatva shastra vidanoktam karma kartumiharhasi. So let the scriptures be your authority in determining what ought to be, or deciding what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. Having known what is said in the ordinance of the scriptures, you should act. Then Arjuna naturally gets confused and he asks, what about people who don't know the scriptures? What about illiterate people? So that's what prompted Bhagavan to talk about the faith, because they have something called faith and they're driven by a superior power, faith in a higher order of things. So that's the Shraddha Traya Vibhaga. Now, next question. How is chapter 17 organized? Anybody wants to say? Because this chapter, Bhagavan goes around. Ravi, you want to say?
Yeah, Ganesh. 1 to 6, Krishna answers Arjuna's questions regarding faith.
Yes.
7 to 22, 4 voluntary topics discussed by Krishna on food, worship, discipline, and charity.
Yes, very good.
And then the significance of famous mantra Om Tat Sat and
Yes.
the rest of the chapters.
Yes. So this is for the core of this topic. Arjuna's question is answered in slokas 1 to 6. That is the core, the Shraddha Traya Vibhaga. That is what the chapter is named of. Then Bhagavan talks about 4 voluntary topics because he thinks the food that you eat that also determines the type of the person, or a certain type of person. A rajasic person wants harsh foods, a tamasic person dull foods. So food, then yajna, worship for a higher cause and also to get some benefits. Yajna, then austerity, tapaha, and charity, dhana. And in the final 6 verses, Bhagavan talks about the famous mantra Om Tat Sat. We'll look into more details. A person's shraddha can be inferred through the kind of worship he or she does. What are the 3 factors according to which one's shraddha is determined? Anybody wants to answer?
It's the three gunas.
Hmm? It's
Sorry,
the 3.
three gunas. So sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Well,
Yeah, but
it's
how do you
3
know?
types of
So
things.
yes. So
Yeah,
this
3
is a
types.
good point. So you answered it, but it's not quite right. The reason is, how do you know a person is sattvic? You can't, by looking at a person, you can't know a person is sattvic, right? So Bhagavan talks, it has to be inferred. The shraddha of a person, whether it's sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic, it has to be inferred. And it's inferred based on 3 factors. Okay? These 3 factors are object of worship. So Jayalakshmi, that's why it's useful maybe
Oh, I'm
to
looking
have
at
them.
the wrong slide. That's why.
Yeah. So the 3 factors in worship are the object of worship. What kind of devatas this person is worshipping? Some people worship ghosts and these kind of, or the yakshas like Kubera to get money. Those are the rajasic people. And others worship like ghosts and demons. Those are the tamasic people. Which devata is worshipped, mode of worship, how the puja is performed, for ostentation, to hurt others, or for the greater good. So that is greater good is sattvic, for ostentation, to get money, that is rajasic, and to hurt others, that's tamasic. And that's the um, or the mode of worship. It's how the motive is what I said. The mode is how it's performed with a lot of strain, and for show, all that. Okay, so that is the 3 ways of inferring one's shraddha based on these factors. Is it clear now? So yes, it is sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, but just by looking at a person, you can't say, and it has to be inferred, the sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Is it clear, Jayalakshmi ji?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, good. Then Bhagavan talks about 4 voluntary topics. And what are these topics? Can somebody answer? 4 voluntary topics.
Ahara, rati, chatushyam, like the 4 4 forms of ingesting or performing karma in the world through food, through the yajna, tapas, and danam.
Yes. So these are very important. So Bhagavan is talking about these fourfold topics. So ahara iti chatushtayam. 4 topics like food. Ahara is food. Iti, like food. There are 4 topics. It's called aharati chatushtayam. Food, worship, discipline, and charity. Ahara, yajna, tapa, karma. Okay. It's called ahara iti, means like ahara, starting with ahara. Okay. Bhagavan does not explicitly tell the meaning of the mantra Om Tat Sat. He just says it is the triple designation of Brahmanas Trivida um, Chodana. So here Bhagavan just says it is the threefold designation of a triple designation of Brahman. But Shankaracharya comes to our rescue, and Swamiji explains this very well. What is the triple designation that Bhagavan talks about? So if you remember the shloka, Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha Brahmanastrividasmritaha. Om Tat Sat is considered the triple designation. Nirdeshaha, it means designation. Deshaha, place, or it is the threefold designation of Brahman. And by uttering this, Brahmanas, Vedas, and the Yajnas were created. That's all he says. But what is this triple designation? So Shankaracharya gives a detailed explanation, and Swamiji talks about it. Does anybody want to take a guess? Okay, I will answer. So the threefold designation is, Bhagavan does not say this, but he implies, and it is the Om means it is the protector of the world. Okay, Om means the protector. Tat means that Brahman which is aprameya, incomprehensible. Sat means the eternal principle. So this is the threefold. How do you define Brahman? Threefold designation. What are the how do you designate that the Brahman? It is the protector of the universe. It is that by which the entire universe functions. It is like the electricity igniting everything, right? Without electricity, an object cannot perform. Brahman is like that. It's a consciousness which illumines everything. And it is eternal. It is Sat, the eternal principle, and it is that it is also incomprehensible. So these are the three designations. Is it clear? Anuji, everybody
Yes,
have
thank you.
cameras off. So okay. Then what is the significance of the last shloka, 17.28? So Bhagavan concludes the chapter with the last shloka. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asidyatyuchyate asadyatyuchyate partha nachatat pretyano iha. What's the meaning? Anybody wants to say? It's a very subtle. I illustrated it last class when we discussed the shloka. Anybody wants to say?
If you do it without faith or shraddha, it's pointless neither here nor later on in
Yes.
life.
Yeah. Bhagavan talks about this 4 side topics, right? Food eaten, worship done, charity and austerity. Here he's reminding Arjuna, he's connecting all the dots. I told about these 4 topics because this is how, like Anuji said, this is how we perform actions in the world. Here he is reminding Arjuna that even these activities, these activities are considered very important. Even these activities done without shraddha or belief in a higher order of reality will bear no fruit and can also result in counterproductive results. So that is why Bhagavan is reminding. Okay. Now